What is up, Hollywood men fam? Get ready for a rapid-fire download of the absolute must-knows that are shaking up the entertainment universe. The news cycle is moving at warp speed, and if you're not plugged in, you're missing out. We've got bombshells dropping, iconic moments that almost didn't make it, and career-defining decisions that reshaped legends. From behind-the-scenes secrets of massive hits to surprising award season twists, we're breaking it all down. You think you know movies? Think again. We're diving deep into the stories that define the industry, the moments that had filmmakers sweating, and the choices that paved the way for cinematic history. Prepare for insights that will change how you watch your favorite films forever. This is the intel you can't afford to miss, so buckle up. Let's get into it. First up, a legendary film, a scene so iconic it's practically synonymous with the movie itself, was almost axed. We're talking about a moment that could have fundamentally altered a beloved classic, and the reason why it was saved is pure Hollywood drama. You won't believe what was almost left on the cutting room floor. Then, we uncover a fascinating paradox, where a film that bombed spectacularly at the Razzies somehow paved the way for one of Hollywood's most celebrated actors to snag an Oscar. How can such opposite ends of the awards spectrum be connected? We've got the inside scoop. And that's not all. We're also revealing why a director, known for his colossal blockbusters, was absolutely convinced his critically acclaimed, award-sweeping war epic was destined for failure. He even told his star, "Nobody's showing up." You'll be stunned by his pre-release doubts. Finally, we're highlighting a science fiction masterpiece that, despite its initial theatrical struggles, is now being hailed as one of the most visually stunning films ever created. Its ambitious scope and profound themes have earned it a devoted following. Don't touch that dial, stay locked in, and make sure you're subscribed and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a moment of the Hollywood men action. Iconic scene almost cut, a near miss for a movie masterpiece. This revelation dives into the near deletion of a pivotal scene from a beloved film, a moment so integral that its absence would have drastically altered the movie's identity and impact. Fans are still abuzz on social media platforms like Reddit, discussing how different the cinematic landscape would be without this particular sequence. The scene in question, a sprawling running montage featuring the film's titular character, Tom Hanks, traversing the country over several years, was a significant financial undertaking for the production. Early drafts and studio concerns about the extensive cost of filming and producing this extensive sequence led to serious consideration of its removal. The logistics of capturing Hanks running across vast landscapes for an extended period, coupled with the narrative weight it carried, presented a substantial budget challenge. However, the commitment of both the star and the director was instrumental in its preservation. In a move that speaks volumes about their belief in the project, both Tom Hanks and director Robert Zemeckis agreed to a significant pay cut. This financial sacrifice was a direct move to reallocate funds towards the realization of the ambitious running montage. Hanks himself explained the economic strategy, noting that by reducing their upfront salaries, they could ensure the scene's inclusion, with the understanding that they would be compensated later through back-end deals and points on the film's profits. This decision proved to be a masterstroke. The running montage became more than just a visual spectacle. It became a narrative engine, symbolizing the character's journey, his impact on those he encountered, and his unique philosophy of life. It inspired countless parodies and cultural references, embedding itself into the public consciousness and becoming a defining element of the film's enduring appeal. The audience reaction has been overwhelmingly positive, with many fans expressing gratitude that the filmmakers fought to keep the scene. Comments on forums frequently highlight how the montage is inseparable from the film's identity, with some humorously questioning what they would yell at people running in the street if the scene hadn't existed. The discussion also touched upon the film's adaptation from its source material, with fans noting how this particular element, while cinematic, stretched the boundaries of believability compared to some of the more fantastical events in the original novel. Nevertheless, the consensus remains. The decision to keep the running montage was a stroke of genius that cemented the film's status as a timeless classic. But what if a film's biggest gamble paid off in the most unexpected way? Coming up next, we explore how a Razzie-winning flop became the unlikely catalyst for an Oscar win. From Razzie Revenge to Oscar Glory, The Unlikely Connection. This piece uncovers a fascinating twist of fate in Hollywood, where a film that was universally panned, even sweeping the Golden Raspberry Awards, inadvertently set the stage for one of the industry's most beloved actors to achieve Oscar-winning success. It's a peculiar phenomenon that highlights the unpredictable nature of filmmaking and awards season. While the Razzies and the Oscars represent the polar opposites of critical and popular acclaim, this story demonstrates how paths can unexpectedly cross. Tom Hanks, a name synonymous with critical darlings and blockbuster hits, found himself on both sides of this award spectrum. Long before his Razzies notoriety, in the early 1990s, Hanks encountered a screenplay that truly captivated him. He seriously considered collaborating with his frequent director, Ron Howard, on this project. However, as fate would have it, he ultimately passed on it, a decision that, with the benefit of hindsight, saved him from a significant career misstep. The screenplay he declined later became Kevin Costner's epic post-apocalyptic film, The Postman Asterisk. This film is now widely regarded as a colossal failure, both commercially and critically. Much of the blame for its downfall is attributed to its director, producer, and star, Kevin Costner, whose ambitious vision and perceived ego trip resulted in a box office catastrophe that effectively stalled his A-list career. The Postman not only failed to impress audiences, but also became a Razzie magnet, securing 5 awards, including Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Actor for Costner, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Original Song. The film's dismal performance and Razzie sweep made it an easy target for criticism. Hanks revealed his initial fascination with the script for The Postman Asterisk, penned by Eric Roth, even before he committed to Forrest Gump. He met with Roth and was impressed by his writing talent, especially after learning Roth was tasked with adapting Winston Groom's novel. Hanks believed Roth was the perfect scribe for the adaptation. Instead of embarking on Roth's ambitious post-apocalyptic vision, Hanks chose the more whimsical literary adaptation of Forrest Gump. This decision proved to be incredibly fortuitous. Forrest Gump went on to achieve monumental success, winning 6 Academy Awards, including Best Actor for Hanks and Best Adapted Screenplay for Roth. It became a cultural phenomenon. In stark contrast, The Postman arrived in theaters 3 years later, met with immediate critical disdain and commercial indifference, a fate that significantly impacted Costner's career trajectory. The irony is that the very screenplay Hanks admired, which he felt showcased Roth's talent, was the same one that led to Costner's career downturn. This narrative underscores how a single script, a different actor, and a different director can lead to drastically divergent outcomes, with one becoming an enduring classic and the other a cautionary tale. It's hard to imagine a film being a box office failure when it's considered a cinematic masterpiece. Next, we'll explore why a legendary director was convinced his war epic would flop despite its star power. Spielberg's doubts, why Saving Private Ryan was feared a flop. This segment delves into the surprising pre-release anxieties of Steven Spielberg, one of cinema's most successful directors, regarding his critically acclaimed war drama, Saving Private Ryan Asterisk. Despite a career built on massive box office hits and a reputation for understanding audience tastes, Spielberg harbored significant doubts about the commercial viability and audience reception of this particular film. Known for his ability to connect with the masses and consistently deliver blockbusters, Spielberg has helmed movies that have collectively grossed over $10 billion worldwide, making him a true titan of the industry. He's the only director to have 3 films top the all-time highest-grossing list and is often considered the definitive auteur of blockbuster cinema. Even when venturing into more intimate or serious subject matter, his name alone guarantees significant audience turnout. Saving Private Ryan seemed poised for success. It was a Spielberg film, a war movie, a genre with proven appeal, and was immediately hailed as one of the year's best, generating considerable buzz. The film ultimately became the highest-grossing World War II movie ever made at the time, holding that record for nearly 2 decades. However, Spielberg's vision for the film was one of unflinching realism and visceral authenticity, depicting the harsh realities of war in a way that he feared would be too intense or disturbing for audiences. He confided these concerns to star Tom Hanks early in the production. Spielberg admitted, "Despite you being in this movie, nobody's showing up for this picture." He was convinced that the film's graphic portrayal of combat, which pushed boundaries he had personally set for taste and tolerance, would alienate viewers. He felt that audiences had already crossed a line of what they would find acceptable, and his film, especially with its intense opening sequence, might be too much. His apprehension wasn't a last-minute worry. It surfaced just 2 weeks into shooting. While he anticipated a strong opening weekend largely due to Hanks's presence, he predicted a sharp decline in subsequent weeks, believing the film would be inaccessible to the general public. This perspective is characteristic of Spielberg's approach when stepping outside his usual comfort zone. Having made his most violent film to date, he questioned whether audiences would embrace such a raw and unflinching depiction of conflict. His fears, however, proved unfounded. The film's powerful narrative, exceptional performances, and groundbreaking cinematography resonated deeply with viewers, who turned out in droves, not just for an opening weekend but for months, cementing its status as an instant classic and a must-see cinematic event. From the gritty realism of war to the sprawling canvas of science fiction, we're exploring films that defied expectations. Up next, a visually stunning sci-fi epic that's now being called the most beautiful film ever made. Cloud Atlas, the visually stunning sci-fi epic reevaluated. This feature revisits Cloud Atlas *, a science fiction film that, despite a lukewarm reception at the box office upon its initial release in 2013, has steadily garnered a devoted following and is now frequently lauded by fans as one of the most visually breathtaking films in the genre. Directed collaboratively by Tom Tykwer and the visionary siblings Lana and Lily Wachowski, the film is an ambitious tapestry woven from 6 interconnected stories that span centuries, exploring profound themes of fate, time travel, and reincarnation. Its ensemble cast, featuring acclaimed actors like Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Hugo Weaving, and Jim Broadbent, delivers powerful performances across diverse historical and futuristic settings. Cloud Atlas * is celebrated for its intricate narrative structure, which weaves together disparate timelines, from the mid-19th century to a distant, post-apocalyptic future, to illustrate the enduring connections between souls and the ripple effects of individual actions across generations. The film's visual artistry is a key component of its acclaim. It transports viewers through a rich array of meticulously crafted environments, from the decks of a 19th-century sailing vessel to the neon-drenched cityscape of a futuristic neo-soul and the desolate ruins of a future society. The direction and visual effects work in concert to create a deeply immersive experience, reinforcing the film's central meditation on the interconnectedness of human lives. Tom Hanks, in particular, showcases his remarkable range by portraying multiple characters across these different eras, embodying roles such as a cunning 19th-century notary, a greedy doctor in the 1970s, and an aging shepherd haunted by guilt in a future setting. This transformative acting, mirrored by the rest of the cast, serves as a visual metaphor for the cyclical nature of souls and the continuity of destiny. While its nonlinear storytelling and ambitious scope initially challenged some critics and audiences, leading to its modest theatrical performance, Cloud Atlas has since found a new life through streaming platforms like Prime Video and Paramount+. This accessibility has allowed a wider audience to discover and appreciate its unique cinematic qualities, leading to its cult status. Many now consider it a masterpiece for its formal audacity, emotional depth, and stunning visual beauty. It's a dense, sensitive, and thought-provoking journey that rewards careful viewing and contemplation, solidifying its reputation as a significant and visually spectacular entry in the science fiction canon. From nearly being cut to becoming a cultural touchstone, and from box office bombs to Oscar wins, these stories show the unpredictable magic of movies. And that's a wrap on today's Hollywood Men Updates. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives. That's a wrap on today's must-knows. We learned that an iconic running scene in Forrest Gump was almost cut, but saved by actor and director pay cuts. We discovered how a Razzie-winning movie, The Postman, was the film Tom Hanks passed on before winning his Oscar for Forrest Gump. We heard how Steven Spielberg feared Saving Private Ryan would flop due to its intense realism, even telling Tom Hanks nobody would show up. And we saw how Cloud Atlas, initially overlooked, is now hailed as a visually stunning sci-fi masterpiece. Don't miss out on more incredible stories from Hollywood. Hit that like button, subscribe to Hollywood Men for all the latest updates, ring that notification bell so you're alerted to every new video, leave a comment with your thoughts on these stories, and follow us on all social media platforms to stay connected. We'll see you next time.